Well, welcome everyone to the last week of the regular season for quite a few divisions. My name is Atomo, and I'm joined, as always, by Calamity. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is what it's all been about, Calamity. We are down to the last week, so a lot of things are being decided, and we've got a relegation match here. Well, a fight for relegation, not to be relegated, I should put it that way, instead, between Paschtetli and Nakiro as we take a look at their stats. Currently, Paschtetli in danger of being relegated, but Nakiro only 2 points above him in sixth.
Yeah, their seasons so far have been a bit different. Paschtetli has been down there in or about round about the relegation zone for most of it. Well, Nakuru has kind of been going up and down throughout the season, but currently they're in a pretty similar place, with Nakuru being in the slightly better position. If you look at their stats, they're all very similar, with just Nakuru having a slight edge on all of them. A few hundred points more on average, slightly better best game, two more aces, one more draw instead of a loss. And the current situation is there's nothing to play for in regards to getting to the promotion race anymore. That's done with. But Pastetli needs a win against Nakiro to get himself out of the relegation zone. And additionally, he needs Nakiro to not get any points because Nakiro does have the better score difference. So essentially, Pastetli just needs to get as many points as he can and also needs to hope that Nakiro just does badly.
Mhm. Yeah, that score differential really is important come this last week for players. Their scores very even throughout the season, but just how well they do versus their opponents coming into play here. We'll take a look at the map. Then it is Romania. We have switched to the official Geoguessr Romania map, given that we had some trouble with the original map selected. Been played almost 100,000 times, and another low-scoring map, Calamity, only about 13,000 for an average score.
Yeah, the average score on the official maps is mostly solo because that's what you're required to play if you want to get medals in Explorer mode.
Mm.
So those maps get played quite a lot by people that don't really play GeoGuessr that much, and just see, oh, there's some medals to get. Um, and also just everyone new coming in selecting Romania because they think, well, it's the official map, it's got to be good, right? Um, it's not great, but it's passable. And the original map selected was heavily skewed towards urban locations, which is obviously not ideal either. And the thing with seeds for Reddit League is that because they get checked anyway, it doesn't really matter which map you choose.
Mm.
Um, so it's fine. And yeah, Romania is quite interesting. Plays well, depends on where you get in Romania.
Yeah.
A lot of the locations are relatively easy, at least to get sort of the general area, because you've got a nice road numbering system. You've got a system with a lot of different. Well, you've got about I think it's about 30 provinces, and you can find them on almost every sign. Those EU
Mm.
developmental
Yeah.
construction signs. Um, and you normally get a lot of information that way. But if you're on a mountain in a nature park in the middle of nowhere, you'll never see any of that.
Yeah, pretty much. Just as long as you're not stuck in the mountains, it's not too bad of a country, but there are quite a few rage inducing locations that you can be and travel for 4 or 5 minutes and just see lots of nice, cute little signs that are beautiful, but absolutely unhelpful. So we'll see what kind of seed Division 4 has got for them. They do have 4.5 minutes, so a little bit generous. Definitely going to enjoy that in a country like Romania that could throw you some curveballs. So let's jump right in to round number one. And at least we start in a city, Calamity.
Yep, that's something at least. Um, Looks like a relatively decently sized city as well.
Has some road names for Nakiro there, which means if we do come to pinpointing, it won't be too difficult.
Mm-hmm. As Pashtetli makes his way out onto a bigger road.
There's one of those development signs you were talking about for
Mm-hmm.
him. If you can read that.
Is there something Yudatur Timish? So and at the bottom it says municipality of Timișoara.
Yeah.
So that's an easy find for him.
Nakiro finding it on another development sign for some apartment buildings. So we are in the capital city. This isn't the capital city, is it? No, Bucharest is the capital. Second biggest city.
Is it even the second biggest city?
I thought it was.
What about Cluj?
I thought it was
I mean, I
bigger.
don't know. It might be.
Yeah.
No, it's 4. Constanta
really?
is bigger and Cluj is 3rd.
Oh, well, it's like on the map, it's one of the biggest. So I just assumed it was a pretty big city, but just very big on Google Maps. They must be paying some money there.
Yeah, it is only in your defense. It's only a difference of 30,000 people between second and fourth.
They're all pretty equal.
Yep.
So a couple city names also, but not going to be too helpful for either of them as they already know the city.
Yep. Paschtetli just found the big roundabout that he's currently at, and that Nakiro is at as well.
So it is worth mentioning that Geoguessr did make an update with having what are they called again? Waypoints. That's what it is. Waypoints that you can
checkpoints. I think they call
that you can drop. Yeah. But we're going to try to avoid using those as we don't want to change the rules in the middle of the season.
Yeah, it's normally in a lot of places it doesn't really matter. There's just some scenarios where it can be quite useful to have them, mainly in cases where you want to leave a pin or like a checkpoint. You go 2 minutes, then leave a checkpoint there, and then you go back to the start, so you're not in danger anymore of going back to the start, turning around, and 2 meters away there's a dead end.
Yeah, it feels like it takes some of the drama out of it. But
yeah, looks like Paschtetli's pretty much there.
Yeah.
The big roundabout that they were at is actually quite tricky to find. It looks super easy to find, but it's quite far outside of the city. So it can take you a while.
Yeah, those massive Soviet apartment blocks definitely point to the fact of being on the outside of the city, not really downtown. But yeah, he's got the road. Paschtetli, Nakiro still a little confused with under a minute and a half left to go about where he might be. He's taken a look at a couple roundabouts, but hasn't been happy with any of them.
Which would point me to the fact that he's probably not found the right one, considering the right one is pretty obvious. But yeah, he's looking a bit too far west, I think.
Yeah, definitely needs to. There's that nice roundabout. You can see that in the southeast of his screen there. But yeah, he's looking close to downtown and some of the main train lines, and is going to be just maybe blind to where he actually is, unless he. No, another roundabout, but that's not quite right. Meantime, Paschtetli is really making sure he gets an ace. Like you said, he's going to need every point he can get here, and he's definitely showing that.
Yeah. Of course, if Paschtetli can get a perfect score, then a bonus point for Nakiro wouldn't matter. So that's another thing he could go for.
Yeah, perfect scores are tiebreakers before score differential. So that would mean that he would have the win. And it looks like sort of in the right place, Nakiro. Can't really read the names on his screen yet, but it looks a lot better.
Looks good.
Using every second of that 4.5 minutes to figure out where he might be.
Yeah, he did. I just went back to check. He did find the right roundabout eventually.
Yep. And yeah, just slightly off 4,997 for him. But yeah, those 3 points won't be too big of a deal, but it does mean Nakiro is out of a perfect score. So he's going to definitely have to hope that score differential saves him the end of the game, Calamity.
I mean, he can still win the game,
True. I guess he could. Very much. So let's get into round number 2 and see what it has in store for our players. And, well, we talked about those mountain roads, Calamity. Here you go.
Yep. That's what you don't want to see.
Yeah.
I guess it depends a bit. Like, if you've got super fast internet and can click down the road very fast, then it might be what you want to see, because that is definitely a round that can make a big difference. But maybe they get lucky and there's a highway just around the next corner.
Yeah, but this is going to be pretty tricky to get a perfect game with this in the seed.
Yeah, that's true. It depends a bit on how accurate the roads are in the right place, and then on how long it takes for them to get to some information that tells them where they are. I think if you've got about a minute left at the stage where you know where you are and just have to pinpoint, then it's doable. If you've got any less, it's going to be difficult.
And a few signs for both of our players, but again, nothing really that can be used. Other than they probably give you a good indication you are in one of those national parks or parks that you were talking about.
Yeah, landscape-wise, it gives you sort of a general idea of where you could be. But the thing is, Romania is still so big that it doesn't really matter if you have sort of an idea. You're not going to get many points if you're not at least somewhat close.
Yeah, the mountains in Romania kind of form like an L or U shape. So like, oh, I'm in the mountains, but am I in the north corner of the mountains, or am I in the southwest corner of the mountains, or in the middle of them?
Yeah.
It can be a bit tricky to parse that out with any significant names, and we're not even on a paved road, so unlikely. And it's going to be a clicking spree for the next 2.5 minutes, as it has been for the first 2 minutes, just trying to get to something.
We'll see if they make it somewhere.
Yeah, both
it would be a shame.
direction, so.
Would be a shame if it was just decided on who gets more lucky with their guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, they've got 2 minutes still. Sit back and enjoy a very scenic trip through the mountains in Romania. Oh.
Yeah, it does look quite nice.
Oh, Nakiro deciding to go back to the start and go the other direction.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, a big gamble in the mountains for sure. He's hoping there's a road just the other side that he won't see. Oh, that's a pretty nice big sign, but I'm not sure if he can do much with that. Yeah.
Doesn't really tell you much.
It is a point of interest, but probably not one you can find on the map. And just basically starts with the pin in the middle of the mountains. And it's gonna just check to see if he can see anything. But in the meantime, Paschtetli's still traveling north, looking for signs. But
usually,
there's something.
That gives him the community, yeah.
Yeah.
Storia de Sus, but that alone will probably not be enough for him to find it. Again, he needs the region as well.
Yeah, it's just going to be too small. There is a region of... Oh, it's government of Romania. Never mind. Rural infrastructure.
Yeah, it is there. It is there.
Oh, my word. Yeah, he's got it.
Hundeoara. Yep. So and right to his east is Orastioara Duaba. What a name. Orastioara de Sus.
Yeah, so there is that information, and what puts Paschtetli in the region. Oh, there's the park. Is he going to move his pin? He's got... he's going to give up on it. He's got 20 seconds to... That was the right road he was looking at. Just
it does
not
say
quite
the
convinced
name
himself.
of the community on there. That is a bit strange, but...
In the meantime, Nakiro is sort of in the same area, but not quite as accurate, as time will expire for both of them. So yeah, definitely some clues, but it took them every second they needed to get there, and it's much better for Paschtetli, 4,578, only 2,298 for Nakiro. So yeah, Calamity, pretty much just faster internet and a bit of luck, but I mean, Paschtetli did find something and made the most of that sign.
Yeah, going back to the start was definitely a mistake for Nakiro, but obviously not something you can know before you do it. But in the end, that was what decided that round.
Yeah, it's always a bummer. You can't really ever know what was the right decision until afterward, and then you watch your opponent and go, oh, that was easy. If I had just kept going, I would have seen everything, but you never really know that in the heat of the moment. And we'll get into round number 3 here and see if Nakiro can climb out of the big hole he's in. Down by about over 2,000 points. And at least we've got another village, so he's got a good shot at some information here.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult, although you never really know with Romanian countryside.
Mm-hmm.
It can vary widely in terms of difficulty.
Paschtetli trying to show off his Romanian football knowledge is using the local club to pinpoint where he might be. A little optimistic, I think, but
yeah, I'd be impressed.
I would be very impressed. Oh, yeah. Been following these guys for years. There's a town name he just breezed right past, too. But
yeah.
Again, probably too small to really be worth any time right now.
It's one for Nakiro as well, if he could read it.
Starts the
Only
mess.
on the other side. No, still not.
Nope.
There's an E in there as well.
Like playing Wheel of Fortune or something. There we go. Comuna Lunsa, but again, probably pretty small.
Yep.
Not going to be easy to find.
There he had it on the town exit sign if you really wanted to know the town, Nakiro. They didn't seem overly interested in it.
Yeah. Paschtetli.
Oh, it does say what is it actually? I called it province earlier, but
I'm not sure what word they use.
I know the Romanian word, I know the German word, I don't know the English word for it.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Counties.
County. There we go. And a nice little sign there as well for Nakiro. See if you can put that to use.
There is no useful information on that.
Yeah. Nope. Other than the fact that we're in Europe and Romania, but he already knows that. So,
yep.
Yeah. Which definitely seems to be showing a little bit of practice. This kind of drier climate area, kind of towards the south. And ooh, he's found the village. What about that? There we go. And we have.
It told him the county, so I wouldn't really give him any props for landscape guessing here, but yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a county, and if you have no idea where to start trying to find a county, it could take you a very long time to scan the entire country. But
well, I mean, about 50% of the counties are named after the biggest city in it. I don't know which county this is in particular, actually, but
it says
it might be one of those.
Hello Ormond County, but that's not a big city in the. I don't see a big city with that name anywhere. So
let me double check that. You focus back on the videos.
Leave the research to you. In the meantime, yeah, being on a bridge over the river makes it pretty easy for Paschtetli to pinpoint, given his information. And just another unfortunate round for Nakiro, where he's kind of a bit at a loss and has wandered around and hasn't seen any big clues like Paschtetli has.
Yeah. He is in the right county now, though.
Yeah. Does put him somewhere down there. See if he can spot the town names he needs.
Did he see? I wasn't watching it. I was doing research. Did he see anything that gave him the county?
If he did, he didn't look at it long enough for me to recognize it.
Yeah.
But again,
there are only 41 counties, and yeah, landscape-wise, it's pretty obvious that you're somewhere on the outskirts of Romania, usually, with this kind of relatively flat landscape, at least. So it's not. Yeah, it doesn't take too long to check.
I think the signs he's got now are going to help him out a bit. There we go.
Oh.
And now he's got 6 seconds to figure out which bridge it is. No, not that river. That one fits better, and luckily it takes his pin, but not an ace. 4,996. So at least he doesn't fall further behind in this round, Nakiro. But again, using every bit of that clock.
Yeah, bit lucky there in the end that he did find it eventually, but yeah, not much of a difference maker that round.
Yeah, it's kind of how Romania plays. It's easy, then it's easy. But if you're in the middle of nowhere, good luck. And have to be a bit lucky with the sign as we get into round number 4 here. And again, in a small village?
Yep.
Town?
Doesn't look too dissimilar from last round in terms of landscape.
Mhm.
Slightly more hilly.
Might point us a little bit further north, but still along that southern area.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is going to be a fun one as they wander around, trying to make sure they get out of town. And then Nakiro going back to the start again. He likes to do that, apparently.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
Paschtetli
and then
just hit a dead end in that direction, so apparently it was a pretty decent decision.
yeah. And Nakiro will head south out of town
Yep.
and try to find anything he can find at all. And it looks like Paschtetli will be not too far behind him. His journey heading west.
Yeah, they're going the same way, and I think Nakuro is about maybe 5 to 10 seconds ahead, so not much.
Mhm.
And now Nakuro stopped there looking at cars, so Paschtetli will catch up to him.
Yeah. There we go. There's the development sign you needed.
Yep. Yuritur Mehedinti. And to tell him the city as well, probably somewhere.
And there we go. Even a better sign for Paschtetli with the 6 and E70. Distances
200
really help out.
Paschtetli, you're 239 kilometers away from Timișoara.
Yeah, I would look for the Dobreta, which is a lot closer, only 15, and is right there on your map. There we go.
Yep.
So get closer to that one. So yeah, again, a tricky round, at least by all appearances at the start, but then actually within pretty decent distance, quite a few good signs. Nagaya only 14 kilometers away on the 18, and that will be
4 kilometers.
I said 4.
You said 14.
Oh, did I said 4 on the 18? But maybe I slipped. You let me know if I made that mistake.
You did.
I don't remember what I said. But yeah, again, the town name on plenty of things, and just a matter of tracking back their route with over a minute and a half to go. We'll be looking at another 4-9 for both of them, but that's not what Nakiro really wants, Calamity, in this fourth round.
I thought Nakuro already had it in the right town, but maybe I was just imagining that. Definitely not in the right town currently.
Yeah, he zoomed in on it and then he moved, I guess, because it was on his screen. I don't know why. There it is to his west, but maybe he just forgot the town name he saw, or
I don't know.
Not sure exactly what's going on, but still has a minute to correct himself. But in the meantime, Paschtetli honing ever more into the actual location and is looking for his third ace of the seed. Definitely showing off practice, knowing this match really matters for his Division 4 survival. Definitely put in the work, and there we go, a third ace for him, only 2 meters away. Nicely done.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one for Nakuro because that's the current road he's at with the train tracks going through it is a very obvious thing on the map that you can see there.
That huge U-bend. Now work your way back. Again, he's going to be running out of time to really do any serious pinpointing. But that looks pretty good. And is he close enough? No. Again, just off the mark. 4,998 for him there. So even when he's able to find it, that pinpointing, not enough time to do the pinpointing for sure, Calamity.
Yep. Currently, I was just looking back at what exactly the sign said, and it did tell him both of those town names. Basically, the sign said it's a project to modernize something in Sigaya, but at the far bottom of it, it said the community of Prunisor, which was the town he then went to. So I guess Sugai is just a smaller town slash village in that community. And that's why he was a bit confused there for a while. But he did find it eventually. And that's another almost ace for him. I think at this point, Paschtetli might have overtaken him in terms of aces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and interesting. But what's even more interesting is we've only got one more round to go, and there's quite a few points on the table for Nakiro. He needs to make up, and he's going to hope for a mountain round. And, well, it's a little mountainous, but it's paved, which doesn't forebode too well for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them mountains. They're sort of slightly bigger hills. In the distance there, you can see some things that look like mountains.
Yeah.
It's definitely not what you'd normally want to make a massive difference in Romania, though.
Mm-hmm.
But they are going different ways, so... Oh, there was something for Nakru there.
There you go. Town names and a road number, the 19.
19, yep.
Then also...
Not too far.
Some village names for Paschtetli as well. He hasn't seen those kilometer stones quite yet, but yeah, this
Nakru's
one
pretty
not
much
the
there.
round you want. Yep, he's got it, but
yeah, that should give Paschtetli everything he needs as well.
Yeah, so that all but seals it for Nakiro. So his score is, I mean, going to be somewhat decent. He's probably gonna get close to about a 5K here, so we're looking at a 22,000 something, maybe enough for a bonus point given the seed calamity, especially round 2. How many other people get it or not?
He was fairly close in that mountain round, so it's possible. I don't know why Paschtetli just decided to ignore that marker stone, but I guess that will also give him the same information.
Yeah. Sign a little bit more trusting. Marker stone. Yeah, I think I only got like 300 points in that second round because I was in the mountains, but the wrong side of the mountains. So definitely people could have guessed out as much information as Paschtetli got, and we're way off. You can definitely lose a lot of points in that. So 2,000 is not bad.
I thought that was ambitious going off the curve and that, and just off the road line. There's a couple curves there. I'd be impressed if you could tell which one it was just by the road line.
Yeah, and this one, for me, there is a nice little restaurant point of interest near the spawn, I believe. Yes, just up the road, which will help out. They pay attention to it. And I believe that the road near the starting location that goes off in that construction company is also on the map, so that's pinpoint.
Yes.
Useful.
I remember pinpointing with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But mostly what you want to do in windy mountain roads is you want to get a couple of corners and just judge by that. Maybe see if you can find one that's that stands out in particular. Maybe a U-turn, maybe something else that has a road going off of it. And that's the easiest way to find where you are on a mountain road.
Neither of them quite hone in on it. There we go. As I say that, of course, Paschtetli realizes where he should be and moves his pin. To just say they don't do something more often, then we'll get some action.
Yeah. Nice U-turn there. Oh, he's doing the thing where he moves his pin.
Like, I understand if you have no idea where you are and you're just like, okay, I'm somewhere close to here, but he put it where the location is. And it's like,
yep.
And then he moved it again. Like, well, no, you don't need to move it again. You already know that it's going to be like that. So you've got a better location. Don't move it off of it.
Yeah, it's just such a dangerous thing to do when you're low on time. Of course, when you've got an eye on the timer, it's fine. But at the same time, there's absolutely no reason to do it in the first place.
With about 15 seconds left, Nakiro still looking too far north along the road. Hasn't been able to catch it, and that will be the fourth ace for Paschtetli. A very nice score of 24,578. for him as Nakiro will run out of time. And 4,900, just a couple curves too high. 22,189 for him. So a very good win from Paschtetli gives him hopes. And yeah, Calamity, was it enough for Nakiro for a bonus point?
It was.
Oh, so it'll be very interesting going into the final, into the relegation playoffs. Calamity, what does it look like?
It's going to be Paschtetli against the ninth place from Division 4B, which at the time of this is still not decided because Edward still hasn't played. Let me actually check if he has by now. But I checked today in the morning and he still hadn't.
Yeah, the official scoreboard has not been updated, so
I don't know what's up with him.
Mhm.
Been just to give you a bit of it's been about 2.5 days after the deadline, so I don't know. And it is a very crucial game because if he loses, then Edward will be automatically relegated, and it'll be Fios who goes up against Paschtetli, and the other way around if he doesn't lose. But yeah, relegation battle for Paschtetli either way, but he has been, I would say, probably by far not the worst out of the people in the relegation playoffs. So I think he should be relatively fine. So of course, Singapore as the first playoff map is a bit of an interesting one.
Yeah, that's
But
very pinpoint
you only
heavy.
you only need to win one game in the playoffs to not get relegated. And I think he's more than capable of doing it.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, a bit of a heartbreaker for Paschtetli, a brilliant game in Romania, but just not quite enough to keep him out of that spot. But it at least gives him hope of staying up in the relegation playoffs. So we hope to bring you some of those next time, and we'll see you there. Take care.
Bye.